decided not to endorse John McCain or Paul Ryan, and it seemed as if the divide within the party was larger than ever. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I think it's not time for Republicans to panic. I think they need to start circling the wagons. Let's be honest here. He is ahead in Florida. He's ahead in Ohio. He's ahead in North Carolina. He's within striking distance in Pennsylvania. He's ahead with independents. Yeah, he punched down with the Muslim guy a little bit. He learned his lesson. We're not talking about that story anymore. Hillary... Yeah. No, I don't think people are talking about it. They're talking about the Iranian nuke deal and all the payoffs.
Is that why we're doing the Iranian? I thought we were doing it because
that's off the front page.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys blew the Trump thing way off the front page.
In other words, just don't talk about that. Okay.
But you know what the media does, though? He has to fight the media along with Hillary. Because when he says something controversial, the media will go to every single elected Republican and say, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Is the media going around to Hillary and to all the other Democrats? What do you think about the Iran thing? What do you think about the Iran bribe? No. So they get a free pass, and the Republican Party has to defend everything that Donald Trump does. It's a tough environment.
Here's Charles Krauthammer offering a different point of view.
I'm not sure that you can call these mistakes. I think they're a reflection of who he is. Everybody expected the pivot to being presidential, to being conciliatory, to bringing the party together, and it never comes. People say mistake after mistake. At some point, you have to ask yourself, is he capable of conducting himself in any other way?
So, Dana, do you think that Jesse's right, it's the media playing up every controversial statement he makes, or is Krauthammer right that we haven't seen the pivot and he just keeps continuing making these statements?
Well, I think it's a blessing and a curse to be the media. Jesse's always right. Apparently that's what he just told me, because I'm afraid he might put a hitman if I don't say that.
You should call 911.
But I think it's a blessing and a curse when you're the media's favorite. Okay, so it works really well when you're on the up, and it doesn't work so well when you're on the way down. And here's one of the things that is just the case when it comes to reporters. They will always cover a process story over a policy story. It is easier, it is more interesting, more people will click on it, more people will watch it if it's a process story. So, whereas Paul Manafort tries to make the case this morning that everything's perfectly fine in the campaign, within the campaign you have whispers that there's something amiss and that they want to have an intervention, and then that becomes the story of the day. And Donald Trump tries to get back on track today with his comments. I'm not going to offer him any advice, because I think he just needs to do whatever he's going to do. Because every time you try to, basically, on the ranch, when you tried to break a horse, right, so they could be ridden, there was just every once in a while there was a horse that he is not going to be broken. And at some point you just say, let him out of the corral. He's going to do what he's going to do.
All right, so, Eric Bolling, I think you are of the mind that let Trump be Trump.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about the idea of Priebus, Gingrich, O'Reilly, trying to intervene and slow him down?
For what? For what end? I'm going to push back. I would disagree, because I don't think the people who are in the John McCain and Paul Ryan camp aren't going to vote for Trump anyway. They're just establishment that are going to either sit it out, maybe even you'll have Republicans voting for Hillary. Who knows? I don't think that's where he needs to go. I think he needs to stay on the states, the battleground states. I think he needs to stay on the independents, and he can win it that way. I think I figured out his strategy, though.
Okay.
I honestly, I'm thinking about this today, and I think our attention span is like 5 minutes. The viewers, Americans, us, our attention span is 5 minutes. So you don't remember what the controversies are that Donald Trump keeps bringing up, keep having with John McCain, with Paul Ryan, with Khan, with the reporter at New York Times. You don't remember what that was all about. You just remember you saw him on TV a lot. And you continue to see him on TV a lot. And at the end, when it comes to voting, you're going to vote for him because he's so familiar with you. If he didn't have any of this, all we would be seeing would be Hillary Clinton on TV a lot. I think it might be a smart strategy.
All press is good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have some advice for him.
Go right ahead.
Stop saying dumb stuff.
Oh.
I mean, he says a lot of dumb things, whether he's talking about nukes or this Khan incident or talking about Ted Cruz and his wife or talking about banning Muslims. These are dumb things. And just to push back a little bit on Eric, I think there is a segment of the establishment that doesn't like him because he's this new guy and he's a new kid on the block and he doesn't adhere to their rules. But there's another segment of the population that doesn't like that he says dumb stuff. And they don't feel confident in him. And when he talks about policy, honestly, I'm waiting for specifics. He talks about Russia, he talks about Ukraine. I'm left scratching my head head. How did this guy get here? And I think people feel like, in many cases, yes, he's the everyman. He represents me in some ways, but I'm not fit to be president of the United States, and maybe he isn't either. So there's a segment that feels that way, and I think he's going to have to somehow convince these people that not only is he competent, but that there is a component of him that is presidential, that when he's dealing with world leaders, we don't have to worry about what he's going to tweet and what he's going to say, because when you become president, it's just different. You're no longer a reality TV star, and you're no longer a political commentator. You're president of the United States, and those words have consequences. Is he fit for the job? I don't know.
All right, well, Erica, I think, though, there's people who are Republicans who would like to vote for a Republican.
You would?
I think
there are quote-unquote Republicans who are on this network who will not vote for the Republican.
You know what? You're getting bitter and angry.
No, I'm not.
Next, stunning news out of our nation's capital. A D.C. police officer has been charged with attempting to assist ISIS, the first ever terrorism charges against a law enforcement officer in America. Amazing details when the 5 returns.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and